Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 59 and today I've got a bunch of awesome things going on and a bunch of awesome things that I really want to mention right at the start today, so I'm going to try my best to rattle on through them. The first thing that I want to mention is a massive thank you for the epic response that we got on the previous episode of Hermitcraft. That was just under 40 minutes long. I mean, it was by far my longest episode of Hermitcraft. It was about a double length, I would say. And that is because we did a bunch of work in the beginning, and then we did some work with Iskall and Python over in Dangland that was, well, let's just say it was a tiny bit destructive. I'm so sorry, Doc M. I didn't mean for that to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen. It was totally unintentional. I was trying to get away from mobs. I stepped on the pressure plate, and by the look of things, there was a bit of a malfunction, and the dragon lost half of its face. So I'll do a transplant at some point. I'll try my best to fix all of that up, but for now, yes, I am very sorry for that one. But also, it was hilarious fun playing all of the games, so we'll have to do that again at some point. But the next thing that I want to mention, which is super exciting for me, is that my new computer is sat behind me. It is an absolute beast, I tell you, an absolute beast. I've actually set this thing up. We're getting about 3,000 frames a second in Minecraft, a bunch of thousands of frames a second in a bunch of other games. It's completely ridiculous, so hopefully my little 33 frames a second that we seem to be getting at the minute will be going very, very shortly. But anyway, first things first, I've been AFK overnight, so hopefully we should have a bunch of items inside our sorting system. So, first chest, melons, obviously going right the way up to the top. That is totally to be expected. The most important one is right here. That is the pumpkins. Let's see. Hopefully we have some. Wow, okay, so this thing is now filling up past these two layers and is going into this top layer here. And we have got, what? Is that 15 double chests of pumpkins? 15! Oh, that is so many emeralds. That is so many emeralds. I mean, of course, in the previous episode of Hermitcraft, we converted our entire beacon beam into emerald blocks. And by the look of things, we're going to be getting a ton more of them because we've got loads and loads of those. We've got a bunch of sugarcane going right the way up to the top, I do believe. Or at least most of the way. And then we've got a ton of carrots. We've got a ton of potatoes. I mean, seriously, the industrial district is absolutely rocking the house. And we're going to be adding some new builds into the industrial district today. We're going to be adding some extra farms and basically making this thing even more ridiculous, which I know sounds a little bit silly. I've got to say, guys, I think I might have been spoiled by Haste 2 because this feels just painfully slow. How did I used to do it? I used to mine without Haste 2 all the time, and now it just feels disgusting. It feels like I'm mining through porridge, to be honest with you. But we are in the process of taking out all of the walls. We are going to replace all of those with sandstone, so that this place right here looks 10 times better. The only issue is that this wall here, this connects directly into the side of our potato and carrot farm with all of the villagers on the inside. So we have to take out that wall and hope that the villager doesn't escape. If he does escape, I'm going to cry myself to sleep tonight. Simple as that. I've got a bit of a progress update for you. As you can see, I have cleared out all of the walls, and now I have chucked in all of the floor as well. And it's looking 10 times better. I mean, it looks very similar to all of the other modules inside the industrial district. This really isn't anything new, but it looks so much cleaner. Without all of the stone, the dirt, the coal, the iron, all of the diorite, the granite, and all of those ugly blocks, it looks a lot cleaner, if not a little bit dark. I mean, there is definitely some spawning spaces right there. All of that area is looking very dark as well. I have to be super careful because, of course, this is quite a complex redstone contraption, and also it relies on a specific order of blocks. And if a creeper comes along and blows it up, I'm definitely going to forget the order, and that is definitely going to cause some pretty serious problems. So I'm going to have to keep my eyes peeled. I'm going to have eyes on my back of my head as well. But hopefully none of that happens, and hopefully we can get this thing done. So now I have to head off into the desert. I have to pick up some more sandstone because sadly I've completely run out of the stuff once again. So let's quickly do that. Here we are once again in the familiar location, doing the familiar action of swinging my pickaxe at great velocity, getting tons upon tons of sandstone. And if you're wondering why I've got the hoppers in my inventory, well, that's a life hack. Yeah, it's a life hack. If you didn't know, if you have hoppers in your hotbar, it will allow you to pick up items faster. Yep, you heard it here first. It's totally not because I forgot to take them out. That doesn't sound like something that I do, does it? What an idiot. We should be safe now. We should be absolutely fine. This guy should now not be able to escape. Let's just chuck in the final ones. There we go. Good. And then we can remove all of our scaffolding. And this place is looking... Oh, it's looking so much better, isn't it? I mean, look at it. It actually looks like a proper build now. I'm going to have to hop up onto a pillar and take a look at this from above. Mad. It looks absolutely mad. I have to say this is probably one of my favourite modules of the industrial district just because I don't know, it looks so industrial. That's the only way that I could possibly describe it. And I just want to say massive thank you for all of the support on the industrial district builds recently. You guys seem to be absolutely loving them. But anyway, we have now got to chuck a glass roof on top of this thing, or at least get started on chucking a glass roof on it, because of course we are going to have to smelt quite a bit of glass here, and that means we're going to have to pop back off to the desert. Oh my word. Oh. Oh, we are really in the thick of it right here. There are mobs everywhere, but I'm doing a decent job, and we're getting a ton of sand here. Now, I think it goes without saying that all of this sand up here is going to take quite some time to smelt. We've got 15 stacks in this chest up here, and we've got 14 stacks in this chest, which means that, well, our 4 furnaces, they're going to take a while. Okay, we don't have the most sophisticated super smelter in the world, which means that this is going to be a bit of a slow coach, and we should probably crack on with another project. And as you can see, my inventory is filled with eggs. Now, that is because my little chicken farm that we have over here unfortunately was dismantled by the lag busters, and we're going to be leaving that thing behind, okay, because I don't really come over to this place so often. We're actually going to be leaving this automatic chicken farm, and we're going to be building another one in the industrial district. But not only a chicken farm, we're also going to be building an egg farm as well. Sounds pretty good to me. So this area right here is going to be for our chicken farm. This is where the chicken farm is going to be going. The egg farm is going to be going over there, and this area, that's going to be reserved for something else, and I do not know what farm is going to be going in here. Maybe we can have our cow farm, although that seems a little bit big. We could have cocoa beans, potentially, but that's not going to be fully automated, so not 100% certain I want that. We can't have a wheat farm because it'll be too close to the village, so the wheat farm will have to go somewhere over there. I don't know, and we don't have to think about that in today's episode because we're not going to be building it in today's episode. For now, we're going to worry about the chicken farm, and I guess the first thing we've got to do is clear out a little bit of a space so we can actually get to work on this thing. Now, I know there are going to be a few people sat there thinking, why on earth are you building an egg farm? Like, what is the point in building the egg farm? You've got yourself a chicken farm, you've got other insane food farms. Why would you need tons upon tons of eggs? It doesn't really make any sense. And I can totally see where you're coming from there, because whenever I've built egg farms in the past, it has always been to build chicken farms. So I build an egg farm, I get tons and tons of eggs, and then I chuck them into the chicken farm, and away I go. I basically start getting loads of chicken, and I stop caring about the egg farm, and eventually I dismantle the thing. Well, this time, however, we have got ourselves an insane sugarcane farm, and we've got ourselves an insane pumpkin farm as well. I mean, we've got 2 insane pumpkin farms, so we are really producing tons and tons of the stuff. And I was thinking the other day, it would be pretty awesome if we could produce pumpkin pie, because pumpkin pie is a really good food source. It replenishes 4 of your food bar things, which is as much as beef. And I really want that in my life. So what we're going to do is we're going to create one of those. We're going to create an egg farm. And then, of course, we've got the pumpkin farm. We've got the sugarcane farm. So all we have to do is craft them up. And then we'll have tons of the stuff. And if I can't be bothered to craft them, then, of course, we'll have the cooked chicken farm as well. Ladies and gentlemen, after hours upon hours of redstone designing, I've come up with the ultimate egg farm. Here it is. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? We've got ourselves a double chest, not 1 but 2 chests down at the bottom there. We've got a hopper running down into them, and then a 3 high, yes, 3 blocks high glass chamber, and that is for extra security. I'd love to say that it worked well, but the extra security doesn't seem to be doing a fantastic job, as already 1 chicken has escaped. But anyway, I'm in the process of loading this thing up. We've got a full inventory of eggs, and these guys are making their way into the farm nice and quickly. When they grow into adults, they'll lay their eggs, they'll fall into the hopper, and make their way into the chest. Anyway, now that the egg farm is all done and dusted, I think it's about time that we take a look at our glass supplies, ready to cover up our entire pumpkin and melon farm. So, our furnaces are still up and running, which isn't the best sign in the world. Let's see how much we have. Good, okay, we've got 9 stacks there, or almost 9 stacks there, and we have got a lot of stacks there. I guess I did fill those in with the 5 stacks in the beginning, but that is sweet. I can't imagine it's going to use much more than that. I mean, seriously, how big is that place? I think it's around about 30 by 30. It is a big area. Like, that's 900 glass blocks we need, but I think that should cover it. So, everything is now done. It is looking very good indeed, and I have to say it actually took less time than I was expecting, which is always a positive thing. But I'm just in the bed. Hopefully I don't get attacked by anything, and now we should be good to show off just how cool the industrial district is looking right now. Let's just pop up onto a pillar so that we can see this thing from above. And I have to say, this project. You know, when I first started the industrial district, you know, I first laid out the boundaries for it, I didn't honestly know what I was going to do. I didn't honestly have like a proper plan. Obviously, I wrote out everything and I worked out what all of the farms I was going to have in there were, but I didn't have a plan of where they were going to go. I didn't know how I was going to do it. So I am so happy. I'm more happy than anyone else about how well this is all coming together. And this, it looks awesome. Seriously, seriously, seriously awesome. But anyway, we're going to be leaving that thing behind because, of course, that is now completely finished. We don't have to touch this thing ever again. This place, however, well, this is one of the up-and-coming ones. This is something they have to work on, and of course we're going to have to stuff a chicken farm inside this area right here. This is really interesting. Look, gradually, all of the baby chickens are turning into adults, and you can actually watch it happen. I don't know if you can see this, but they're sort of suddenly popping off like popcorn and expanding and becoming bigger, and then soon they will be laying eggs. Oh, it's a wonderful thing, but I'm so sorry, little man. Oh, you're so cute. That hurt me more than it hurt you. Maybe. Now, I think for the most part, our chicken farm is all done and dusted. I'm using a slightly modified version of the Exuma Void design that I always use in all of my Hermitcraft series. This one, however, is 2 blocks wide, just to make sure that they're centered in this area. That is literally it. That is the only reason that I'm doing that, just because I think it will look a little bit better. Anyway, we're now going to chuck in these blocks like this, and we're going to make our way around there. We need to cover up that lava with some glass blocks, and I guess we should probably have glass blocks up at the top there. And that is everything done, so let's just place in the rim, and this is where our chickens are actually going to be going. So we're going to be throwing eggs into that area right there, and I'm sort of debating having a glass roof to this thing. Yeah, I think a glass roof would look considerably better, because then you'll be able to see all of the chickens up here, you'll be able to see them doing their thing, and then you'll have the chickens over here. That seems cooler, because originally we were going to have a stone slab roof, but I don't think that will look particularly good. So there we go. That is the chicken farm all done and dusted. The redstone is as follows. Very, very simple indeed. We've got a comparator running out of there with redstone and... Have I done this incorrectly? I feel like I've done that slightly wrong. Oh, I've actually forgotten something. We need redstone running back round out from this here, and we need to run that back into the comparator and chuck that into subtract mode, and I do believe that should be everything done. So if we were to place in maybe a couple cobblestone, we should see that that will all fire out. Awesome. Okay, so that is now functional. Now we just need to start getting some chickens in the top chamber. So guys, I've been AFK for around about 2 hours now. I was just editing a video, and I have returned to a double chest filled with eggs. We have got 1 full double chest of eggs, which is awesome. That thing is working like a charm. Super efficient egg farm. And now, of course, what that means is we can finally get this thing into action. What we have to do is we have to get a bunch of chickens up at the top here that will lay their eggs down into the hoppers, which will then travel through into our dispenser, which will then be dispensed out, and hopefully we'll get ourselves a baby chicken. Then eventually that baby chicken will grow up into the lava, and then it will drop its drops down into the hoppers and put those drops into our chests. That is how our fully automatic chicken farm works. So all I have to do now is I've got to fill up this area using the eggs, and it's pretty much the same procedure as you saw earlier on. Unfortunately, I've got a lot of egg chucking to do to get a bunch of them up at the top here. I have now developed a rapid fire technique, which is just far too much fun. Look, run out of eggs, you hot swap across, and you basically make your way up the keyboard, and it looks absolutely amazing, and is also a very good way of getting a large number of chickens in this area. Oh, I never thought I'd find firing eggs so much fun. If the F3 screen is to be believed, we have got over 150 chickens right here. 155 chickens! Is what it's saying. That's so many that it caused my voice to break back then. I've gone back through puberty. It's ridiculous. So as you can see, we have got a lot of chickens up at the top here. I've still got eggs in my inventory, but I feel like it would be irresponsible for me to actually chuck them into the system, because this would just turn into one big lag farm. So I think that just about does it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to head down underneath. We're going to go right the way down to the bottom here, and we are going to hook up these hoppers into our item transportation system, which will then transport those items into our storage system. So I should probably explain exactly what's going on here. So we have got hoppers running down into the bottom there. These run from the egg farm and go into the hoppers that are running across like this. And over here we have got the hoppers running out of the chicken farm. They go down there and into the hoppers that go across like this. And as you can see, yes, that is the little intersection right there. Now over here we've got some extra redstone circuits that I didn't really think of when I was first designing this thing. I always forget about the fact that chicken farms make feathers, so we need to get rid of the feathers, and they're going out into this dropper right here. Now this is one of those auto dropping droppers, which will basically chuck out its items as soon as they get inside, and it's using my favorite redstone circuit, the one that I always used to like building on camera. That is the comparator, the redstone behind this block, and then this sort of mini circuit right here, which basically unpowers and repowers. It's like an automatic redstone clock. Now this is a pretty important circuit because of course without this all of the feathers would either back up in a chest and back up through the system, or alternatively they would just go through the hoppers and down into our sorting system, which we don't particularly want. So we've sorted that out, and those items then go across just like that. Now what I have to do is I've just got to make my way along this line right here, make my way along here, and in theory, yes, all of these hoppers are now in place. So as you can see, these run across like this. These are going to be transporting our chicken and our eggs into this line right here, which comes from the melon and pumpkin farm. It then goes across like this into the carrot and potato farm, back over into the melon and pumpkin farm, then into our sorting system. So it's a bit of a long journey, but eventually they will end up in our chests. Now we have to sort them out. A bunch of stuff has been done since the previous clip, and I'm going to try my best to run you through all of it without forgetting anything. However, I can't particularly promise anything, because you guys know what my brain is like. So first things first, I crafted up all of the hoppers. I've placed in all the hoppers going down to all of the chests. That's nice and easy. Then I've chucked in the item sorters, which are going to be sorting out both types of items. So this side we have got our chicken, and on this side we have got ourselves the eggs. And I actually don't know if I placed in the comparator, because unfortunately we ran out of items there, so I'm quickly going to do a bit of that. But also, we ran ourselves into a bit of a problem. Okay, we had a bit of an issue with the design, and that is the fact that this hopper line right here, as you can see, the hopper's taking the items across. Sadly, it's a little bit too high. If we go around the back, you can see that the hopper line is actually on the same level as the red band going around our entire industrial district. And of course, if we leave it in place, that means that the hoppers are going to be at the same level as the glass. Now, I don't really know what to do about this, because obviously I could have an item elevator on this side right here, so we run the hoppers across like that, and then we have a small item elevator that takes them up, or I could just run it alongside our red band, then have glass next to it. Oh, I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. I've concluded we're building the item elevator, which is a massive pain in the backside, because currently I don't actually have any comparators over here, so I guess we've got to make it back over to the RV. Oh, the struggles of just not wanting to bodge things. It's a pain in the backside. There are no words to describe my frustration for when this happens. Just one more. Alright, let's do this. The hopper is now in. Items will begin to flow through. You can see eggs are coming through the system. That is very, very good. And we should begin to see the item elevator working and sending them up into that hopper. So that does seem to be functional, which is absolutely excellent, because I was a little bit worried about that. I have just broken the system, however. So let's quickly replace that block and fix everything up. And now we should begin to see eggs actually going in here. That is good. Is this the first Hermitcraft episode I have recorded in months without any spoon moments? I don't think anything's gone wrong so far. Oh, the hopper. Well, that technically wasn't my fault, so we're not counting that. Hey, that is not bad. That is not bad. This thing's working. Obviously, we do need to add in a little bit of a bin over here that's going to be chucking out all of the melons and things like that are overflowing. But other than that, we're all good to go. Our bin dropper is now in place. You can hear that ticking, dropping away all of the items, so that should be absolutely fine. We shouldn't get any items backing up through the system, I hope. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. There could be a bottleneck somewhere, but for now, I can't actually see one. I think our egg farm and our chicken farm should now be hooked up to our sorting system. And if we take a look down at the bottom, we should begin to see eggs going into this chest, which we can. That's fantastic. No cooked chicken just yet. No cooked chicken just yet. I don't know if that's because the chickens haven't grown up. It does take a while for that to happen, but we have been over here for quite some time, so maybe that's something to worry about. That being said, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go AFK for the next couple hours. I might even go AFK overnight, and we're going to see how many items we can get from all of the farms, but especially the egg farm and our chicken farm. If it's working, that is. I left my computer on overnight. I've just been in traffic for the past 3 or 4 hours, which hasn't been so good, but I've returned back to the Hermitcraft server. My computer was having a very strange issue where it was actually slowing down all of the audio, which was very peculiar, so I had to restart it, but we are now back, and we're about to take a look inside all of the chests to see how many items we have managed to get over that time period. And I have to say, I'm quite excited. I'm always excited. It's always like Christmas is coming early here. So let's take a look at the usual chests. Obviously, the melons are going to be right the way up to the top. That goes without saying. These ones, okay, we have got, yes! We have got a lot of pumpkins, guys. That is what? 18 double chests of pumpkins at least. We don't know how many chests it goes up on that side as well. That's insane. Okay, so that is insane. Then we have got how much sugarcane? We have got a decent quantity of sugarcane. The only thing that I am a little bit worried about is I don't actually know if our sugarcane chests are working. Because as you can see, I might have done something a little bit wrong there. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But also we have got carrots going right the way up to the top on this side as well. Let's see on that side. Doesn't look like it. And we have potatoes going up to the top there. But the most important ones are the new ones that we've built in the previous episode. So as you can see, we have got... We've got far less eggs than I was expecting. Let's drop down to the bottom and see if these things are actually working. We have got eggs going right the way up to there. I mean, that's pretty good going. We've got quite a few eggs there. But also we have got that much. Only that much. Are you serious? I definitely think pumpkin pie is the way forward then. If that's how fast this thing is, that is overnight. We have only got, what, 9 stacks of cooked chicken? That's not incredible, is it? I think pumpkin pie is going to be the way we do things from this point forth. Because look, we have got stacks upon stacks of eggs. We've got stacks upon stacks of sugarcane going right the way up through all of these chests as well. We have got stacks upon stacks of pumpkins. Definitely, pumpkin pie is the way forward. It's better than chicken, and we can get more of it. That is going to be my plan for the future. But unfortunately, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Hermitcraft. If you did, please sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.